Hey folks, on this week's installment of the lesson series, we are going to explore Johnny Shines and standard tune slide on the song You Gotta Pay the Cost. So to start with, we are in standard tuning, and that is from the 6th string to the 1st string, E, A, D, G, B, E. Okay, very straightforward. We're all used to that tuning. This song is in the key of C. So if you're in standard tuning and you got to play slide and you're doing a country blues, nobody's accompanying you, what are you going to do to get your slide licks in? Well, Johnny Shines has the answer to that. All right, so let me just start by playing you the first verse of the song, and then we'll go into some of the tips and the things that he uses to make this all work together. It's in C. Have you ever loved a woman now? Well, you know you gotta pay the cost. Ever loved a woman? You know you gotta pay the cost. At the end, she's a winner. God doesn't love you lost. All right, so right off the bat, did you notice something? That's right. Whenever he's playing slide, he's only worried about lead. He is not worried about playing rhythm along with it, as you can when you're in an open tuning. All right, so let's go over the chords first. C. If you don't know what a C chord is, in standard tuning, you're going to take your 3rd finger, put it on the 3rd fret on the 5th string. Your 2nd finger, put it on the 2nd fret on the 4th string. Your 1st finger, put it on the 1st fret on the 2nd string. And then you play 5th to the 1st string, everything open like that. Okay? For his F in this song, I use 2 forms. He really only uses 2 as well. He makes that F, which is your 3rd finger goes on the 3rd fret on the 4th string, your 2nd finger goes on the 2nd fret on the 3rd string, and your 1st finger is going to bar the little double stop at the 2nd and 1st string at the 1st fret. Or he goes middle finger on the 3rd fret on the 4th string, 1st finger on the 2nd fret on the 3rd string, and then he gets the 7th to that by putting his 3rd finger on the 4th fret on the 2nd string and playing only those 3 strings together. And for G, he just uses a regular G chord. I normally will just take my middle finger, put it on the 3rd fret on the 6th string, and then use really only the 4th and 3rd string. Now, I use one other form of F, and that's this, to get this sound. Alright, and that's taking my 3rd finger, putting it on the 5th fret on the 6th string, my 1st finger, putting it on the 3rd fret on the 4th string, and my 2nd finger and putting it on the 4th fret of the 2nd string. And I only play those 3 strings. And that's an F7th with the 3rd in the root, okay? And then I'll flatten out my 1st finger, still only playing those 3 strings, and that gives me a bar across the 3rd fret on the 2nd string. So I can go. Okay, so that's how all that works. Now, let's just talk about what is he doing while he's singing. Basically, you can find it live on YouTube, and he's just kind of just strumming the chords. And I just mute and run my pick across, the 2 bottom notes of the chord. Now, when I go into that weird F, and all I'm doing there is going from the G, and on the 6th string I'm going 3, 4, 5. And that puts me on that strange F that I showed you. Alright, that's all very straightforward. That's what he's doing. Now, what he's doing is he's inserting slide licks in between the chords and in between his vocal. So, have you ever loved a woman now? Man, you gotta pay the cost. You ever loved a woman now? Man, you gotta pay the cost. Well, in the end, she's the winner. God knows in love you lost. All right, that's it. So he doesn't worry about rhythm during those parts, which is really cool. Now, let's just give you some licks you can throw in there and some places to kind of plant yourself so that you can play licks over this song and make up your own licks. Excuse me. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, let's talk about how is he getting his licks? Where is he basing things from? Okay, so you know that if you take your first finger, I'm going to take the slide off for this part, and put it on the 5th string at the 3rd fret. That's a C note. You take your 3rd finger and go on the 5th fret. I'm sorry, that's at the 3rd fret. And then at the 5th fret, you're going to go across the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings. All right, that's a C. You know, you can move that all around the neck and get lots of different chords. It's kind of a bar chord in that way. But you don't play the 1st string and you don't play the 6th string. Okay, then if you go up to the 8th fret, you can get the traditional bar chord form for C. All right, which is your first finger bars across the 8th fret. Your 3rd finger goes on the 10th fret on the 5th string. Your 4th finger goes on the 10th fret on the 4th string. And your 2nd finger goes on the 9th fret on the 3rd string. And you press it all down, and you've got a C. Well, what Johnny Shines is doing is he's going between here, and he's connecting the dots between those two positions. If you look at those positions. Okay, so traditionally, if we were going to play a blues scale that started on the 8th fret, okay, and went down to, say, the 5th fret, we would play at the 8th fret, we would be on the 1st string. We could play 8, 6, 5, and then we go to the 2nd string, 8, 6, 5, 3rd string, 7, 5. Okay? It's almost the same thing as a C major, except for instead of having the major 7th, we've got that flatted 7th, which makes it a 7th chord type scale. Right? Got that 7th sound in it. All right. Very seldom do I see him go. In fact, I've never seen him do that. So, but that doesn't matter. You can do it. All right. So, what's one of the licks he uses to connect the dots? A lot of times he'll go up to the 8th fret on the 1st string. All right. All he's doing is going to the 8th fret on the 1st string and going 8, 8, 7, 8, 8, 8, 8, 7, 8, 8. All right, then he'll go to the 2nd string, 8th fret, 6th fret, and then he slides from the 4th into the 5th fret. And then he plays the 5th fret on the 3rd string. All right, now, what's that at the end? All he's doing is playing on the 3rd string, 5th, 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 4th, 5th, 5th, 4th, and then on the 4th string at the 5th fret, which kind of brings you into the turnaround, all right? All right, anyway, ignore that part at the end. Now, one thing you can do is use the finger behind the slide too, and we'll outline that in a minute. All right, now, what's the other thing? I'd like this lick. All that is, again, we go up to the 8th position for C, and you know the old blues box scale. If you don't know that scale, let me give it to you. First string, 11, 8. Second string, 11, 8. Third string, 10, 8. Fourth string, 10, 8. Fifth string, 10, 8. Sixth string, 11, 8. All right, so you can go both ways. I like to take my slide and just sort of slide up like I'm trying to get to that 11. That's kind of my target note, but I go on past it just to give it a little flair on the first string. Okay, all that is slide up, just go up like that. Land on the 8th fret on the first string, and then 8th fret on the second string. Back to the 6th fret, then 4, 5, and then the 5th fret on the 3rd string. Okay, finger blocking is very important in this technique. So, I have a finger blocking video out there in the lessons. Check that out. That'll help you out a lot, how to figure out finger blocking, because you definitely don't want a bunch of strings ringing while you're doing this. One other lick Johnny Shines really likes and plays a lot in this song is this one. Okay, you can also find that lick a lot in the Allman Brothers. You know, Duane Allman played that. He didn't have the same sound to it or flair, but he had his own take on it, and it was exquisite. All right, so all this is you're going to be on the 2nd string, and you're going to go from the 4th to the 5th fret, and then 6, 7, 8, and then back there to 4th to 5th, and then you're going to land on the 5th fret on the 3rd string, and then go down to the 4th fret and up to the 5th again. Okay, pretty simple. All right, so those are a couple of licks that he uses in there. So let me give you a very simple scale so that you can practice your own licks. And you also want to think about other chord shapes. Okay, so a very simple scale. We've already kind of gone over it, but I'm going to just kind of compress it for you. Make it really easy to use. All it is, you're going to go onto the 1st string, and I'm going to play it with my fingers instead of the slide just to show it to you. All right, 1st string, 8, 6. 2nd string, 8, 6. 4, 5. 3rd string, 5. Okay? Now, what can you do when you're switching from one chord to another? So, for the turnaround. Alright, all that is taking that lick and then adding, we're going to go to the G. Alright, so all that is 4th fret into the 5th fret on the 2nd string. And then you're going to go to the 3rd string and be on the 5th fret, but go down to the 4th immediately. And then you're going to hit the 5th fret on the 4th string, excuse me. And that's just on the 4th string, 5, 7, and then 3rd string, 5, and then all 3 of those strings at 5. And you slide into it. And there you go. So, have fun with it, guys. If you have any questions or this seemed confusing to you, get in touch with me. Just remember, when you're singing this song, it's like any other song you're doing solo, all right, by yourself. As long as you keep the rhythm going, see my finger rhythming? As long as you keep the rhythm going, then the song's going to sound good. Just like, have you ever loved a woman? Now, man, you got to pay the cost. You ever loved a woman? Man, you gotta pay the cost. At the end, she's the winner. God knows in love you lost now. So, as you can see, it's all about just keeping that internal pulse going so that you can keep the song moving forward. All right, have a good time with it and have a great week.